This is Brandon from Royalty Free Radio, and I'm here with Paul Allender of Cradle of Filth. How you doing today, Paul?
Yeah, all good, man. Good. Not up bright and early, preparing for lessons, etc.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure to have you here. Big fan.
Cool, thanks, man. Yeah, it's good to be here. Thank you.
We'll start right off the bat with asking you about a new band that you're forming. I've read clues across the internet that you have a new project in the works, and you're handling the production duties for that. Is that correct?
Yeah. It's really good. We're super excited about it. It's actually turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to actually, to be honest. But like I said, we're on track. What are we on now? Track 8 now. We're doing 10 tracks for the album, and we're on like track 8 now. And it's starting to get. I don't really want to give too much away, etc. Because like I'm a great believer of everything has to be perfectly finished, sounding, looking, the whole lot before it's made public. But yeah, it's up and running. Fingers crossed, it all going well. We're hoping for the album to be released at the end of this year, which will be really, really good. But like band name, titles, image, music, the whole lot it will be released later.
Okay. Is this going to be more of a studio project, or is there going to be some touring following this too?
Oh no, we decided everyone that's involved. We decided to do it to put it together for playing festivals, and if the right sort of touring comes around, then we'll gig.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely gig. It's like it's people that've heard it have really got into it.
Unveil any members of the band or anything like that?
No, you'll find out.
Okay. You said by the end of the year, hopefully.
Oh yeah, hopefully the album will be out by the end of the year because we're doing like everything ourselves.
Okay.
So
I recently read online that Cradle of Filth has recruited a new Canadian keyboardist to the live lineup.
Yep, Lindsay.
Does that mean that Caroline is no longer a part of Cradle?
Yeah, Caroline. Well, to be honest, like, everyone's like, apart from me and Dan, everyone are like session players.
Okay.
And they're all like work, or they've all got their other bands to do, or whichever, And like I say, Caroline had her own stuff to do, and it just so happened she couldn't do the rest of the stuff with us, so we just got someone else involved.
Was there open auditions for that, or did you have someone find her?
No, we kind of wanted a sort of like a female vocalist that could play keys as well, because we were thinking about going down the road of trying to like to have like a separate player and vocalist, etc., but just logistics, like unfortunately the industry is nowhere near what it used to be like 10 years ago. So logistics of like touring, etc., now so changed so much that it just wasn't an option. So we decided to like get someone again who could sing and play, and so instead of giving auditions, what we decided to do was just try to go for people who are actually already established in the industry,
Yeah.
And so we kind of like figured out who to go try, etc.
Have you guys already rehearsed with her? Is she ready to just jump into the tour now?
Well, actually, she spent the weekend over my house, and I took her through everything.
Oh, okay.
So she knew exactly what to do and knows when and where, what to play, what, and all the rest of it now. So she just then after she spent the weekend at mine, she basically then went back and it was then just like practiced on her own, to the records and stuff. And every now and again she'll send me an email or call me and say, I'm stuck on this bit. What do you want me to play on this bit? And say, right, play this, and this. Right. And I'll basically take her through everything. Same as all like players, If when they've got any new people involved, I usually sit down with them, make sure they understand, just like my lessons, make sure they understand absolutely everything and they're completely up to scratch on it all, and then they just go back and start rehearsing.
Well, that's exciting. Now, you're also offering songwriting and guitar lessons. I know this firsthand because I'm one of your current students, and I must say I've been thoroughly impressed at how professional and effective your lessons are. I think once you get past the fact of taking lessons with one of your musical idols, you're also a very knowledgeable guitarist yourself, and you're trying to translate that to as many fans and people as you can.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love it. To be honest, I said this to someone like the other day. It's just like, I get people asking me, can you do this and can you do this and blah blah blah, and I said, yeah, I can, but within time, because I had no idea they were going to take off as much as they have done. You know, I just wanted to just start. I've had so many like fans of like yourself and like of the band and myself, etc. Have put so much into what I do. You know, I just wanted to give something back.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I couldn't think of a cooler, experience for any fan of Cradle of Filth or just guitar players in general. Like, to be able to take lessons from a well-seasoned professional musician who's offering to, come down and teach you everything, just, person to person. It's awesome, man.
That's the way. Cool, thanks, man. I mean, that's the only way it can be done, because someone mentioned. I've had a few, like, as I said, a couple of friends have mentioned, why don't you do, like, whole classes online, do, like, you know, how you do, like, split.
Yeah.
I forget what you call it, like, conference calling, such type of thing. And it won't work, because my lessons don't cater for group sessions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no way you could do in a group session what I teach and what I do, because everybody's so different. It's unbelievable. Everybody's literally, unless you're an absolute complete beginner, everybody's lesson that I teach is completely different.
Have you learned anything from your students?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I have totally. This actually learning, because obviously I'm doing what I do. Obviously, everybody, no matter how good you are, you've got a comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, and I've learned so much from teaching students, because I get asked questions that I'd never ever think about asking myself. Mm-hmm. You know, so that gets me to think about my playing and like adjust things and stuff. You know, there's a guy I'm teaching. I'm having to change. There's a couple of people I'm teaching actually who can only use like certain fingers. You know, because they can't use other ones because of something's happened or etc. etc. So I'm actually changing my lessons around for those and teaching only using the same things that they can use. You know, so I'm trying to work that in. So that's a completely new experience for me, and I'm learning shitloads from that.
Cradle of Filth recently had to postpone its U.S. tour due to visa issues. Would you care to elaborate on that at all? And I read an interview yesterday with Danny that said, fingers crossed, there could be a rescheduling at the end of the year for another U.S. run.
Well, the end of the year thing, no. Because the amount of time it takes to sort out visas and get around why we got turned down is just not going to happen. To be honest, that's the reality of it. You know, it's just like, I can't see it happening at the end of the year. If it does, great. But you know, there was like a few issues. The reason why it got cancelled and stuff, and being turned and then someone being turned down for like. Work permits and stuff like that, and I can't see it, but hopefully, brilliant if it does.
Yeah.
No, but I can't see it happening.
I gotta say, as a fan, I felt that Manicore was the best Cradle album in years, and I hope you guys eventually get to do a US run supporting it.
Oh, cool! Thanks, man.
Yeah.
The Manicore stuff that we do play live rocks like fuck.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So you've recently resided in the U.S. How long have you been here, and have you noticed a big change in the way that you work and communicate with other musicians?
Yeah, it's a lot more professional over here. It is, totally is. I love it, because I've got really high like work ethics, you know, and I don't really deal too well with people who are sort of like half-assed about it or not 100% into stuff. But since moving to the US, it's like I'm surrounded by complete top professionals, and it's fucking brilliant. You know, it's like a sweet shop for me. You know, it is. It's like it's really, really good, and having, you know, it's just the mentality of the US. You know, it's after obviously coming from Europe. There's like the difference I see straight away is that everybody wants to work and work really hard. You know, that's the US mentality, and I absolutely love that because I'm exactly the same. You know, so yeah, so like moving here was totally living here. It was totally the best move I'd ever made career-wise.
Is it harder to write with Cradle of Filth now, or is it all done over the internet pretty much?
It's all done over the internet. It's like the last stuff, me and like the drummer did all of it, you know, and that was just done by. It's exactly the same way I'm doing stuff, because like in my other band, I've got one person in England, another person in another country. I've got one person in Phoenix, another person in Wisconsin. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's then everybody just sends me all ideas because they've all got studios in their houses. You know, so it's really easy, really, really easy. I mean, the only time you ever really need to get together as a band, as such, is when you're first starting off, and you've got to get that bonding going. You know, but if you're seasoned people, and like myself and like a couple of the other members, we've all been professional for like 20 plus years. You know, so it's just like everybody knows what to expect. The people in the band, so it's so easy. Also, I'll just wake up in the morning, they'll send me the stuff, I'll be like, excellent, put it in, I'll put my stuff on top of it, you know, and then I'll get another guitar player who will fly out here and come sit with me and we'll jam and come up with stuff. And yeah, and it's so simple. Now you've got the wonders of the internet, you know, for communications, like I do guitar lessons on Skype, you know, and now we can like, you can send riffs backwards and forwards via like online stuff and that as well, and you can chat on Skype and chat on FaceTime. There's no need to be in each other's pockets at all. Obviously, if you're a new band, you have to, because you've got to start finding your sound and you've got to have that bonding. But other than that, if it's not like that, you really don't need to, because you can get so much more work done in a shorter time. You know, the days of like lazy bands have like long gone since the internet. You know, believe me, I've had my fair share of looking at that stuff.
Cradle will reissue Manicore later in the year with additional content, remixed demos by one of the people behind Dusk and Her Embrace. Will that offer a completely different feel to the music?
I don't know. I don't think the mixing will actually make it sound different, because like basically what's happening is all the demos are going are basically, when I wrote Manicore here, what I did, everything is like all my demos are like studio quality. Because you have to have a really good representation of what they're going to sound like on the finished version. You know, so that's the reason why I do it. I just don't hash stuff around. I treat everything I do when I'm writing songs as some of it can be keepers and then move just onto the new album on the final thing. You know, but so you'll get all those versions, basically all the same tracks, and then the good thing about that with the demos, you actually hear how different they are to the actual final ones. Because even when I was in the studio, I still changed stuff around that I didn't do on the demos. So, for argument's sake, on Frost, there's like a melodic section in there that didn't make it on the album because it just went on for too long.
Oh, well, that's exciting for fans to hear some new stuff.
Stuff like that. There's a lot of differences, and also on the demos, there's a lot of the orchestration was pulled off and pulled back because there was just too much on there. Because what we usually tend to do with the orchestration, what Martin did. He usually puts too much on to start off with, on the aspect of being able to strip it off later on, because it's easy to strip stuff off and let music breathe, than to go, oh shit, we need this on there, how are we going to do that? You know? So, but on the demos, you'll hear all the orchestration which was originally on there, but before we took it all off.
Wow, that's exciting. Do you have any idea when that will be coming out?
No idea. Okay. It shouldn't be long, to be honest.
What are you currently listening to? Do you have any recommendations?
Oh, crikey. To be honest, I don't really get time to listen to music at all, because I'm either doing my own stuff, or teaching, or selling artwork, or do you know what I mean? So I really don't get time to listen to anything. I mean, the only stuff I listen to, actually, I got so bored in traffic yesterday, I put my iPhone on just random music, and I listened to... and it pulled up Megadeth and Judas Priest. That was about the only music I listened to for freaking ages.
Hey, that's cool, man.